Good morning, good day, good life, good everything. Just have a good time. Welcome to another edition to Motivational Sundays with Kevin and Friends. Hey, this show was originally created from the more than 300 quotes that I had for the contents of my books. After studying over 40 years of human behavior, I was always curious how quotes landed on everyone else. Were there words that just laid there on a page, or were there a conversation to be had? So I got together with a couple of my friends and we created this platform. My name is Kevin McLemore. I am the host, and I'm joined with my co-host, famous actor, thespian, writer, producer, teacher, coach, brother, lover, gift to the world, Naheem Garcia, my co-host. If you guys have been looking for Stephen Hawkins being recreated, I'm going to tell you, just like everything else, beginning of time, you may think everything is light, is bright, but I will tell you, you know, we all came from the desert. So Stephen Hawkins, being reborn, came up to be Manny, and he's bringing us the quote today. And, when we talk about true love, there's nothing better than watching Christopher and Gilda, sit there hand in hand, cheek to cheek, waiting for this to be over with so they can have a moment to themselves. We're joined with Gilda and Christopher James and La Nez Kinsey. I will tell you, Cleopatra Jones was here. She'll think her stepsister showed in and upstaged her today. We have La Nez. She's an expert in AI and so many other things. She gets things done. And without saying, this show, we are joined by the voice. Every single week he brings something different. He is doing something so exciting or whatever. Now he's bringing in the fall. The temperature everywhere else is going down, but in Otis Spencer's life, he's on fire. So let's talk about this quote today. Manuel has brought it. It's deep today. It's so deep. I'm going to toss it back over to Otis. Otis, will you deliver for the people that are listening today's Motivational Sundays quote?
Absolutely. Good morning. Consciousness sleeps in minerals, dreams in plants, and wakes up in animals and becomes self-aware in humans.
All right, Manny, you're up. This conversation is way above my pay grade, so I'm gonna go ahead.
That's what I'm talking about, Manny.
Yeah, let's go. It's deep.
Cheers. Well, I just thought it was beautiful. It just came on my Instagram timeline, and I thought on that Wednesday, so I was like, oh, this is perfect. It's really nice. And I thought it's holistic, and it tries to capture the entire cosmic experience of life. But just right now, I'm so sorry, I forgot your name on the bottom.
Manny, talk to the audience. Don't talk to us.
Oh yes. Well,
You're the show.
I forgot your name, but you brought up the actor. We were talking about the actors strike and the problem on the table being that, when people, if these owners, whatever, they want to essentially keep someone's likeness. We live in a time right now where you can almost talk about the potential of the technology today to capture aspects of people that are essentially captured in this quote, right? I mean, when you're talking about the nervous system being like the plant aspect of being human, right? The nervous system dreams, right? And the limbic system is what's having this emotional awakening, right? And then you have also the human part, the self-aware, the cortex, right? Like this data is constantly, you're awashed in a sensor ecology that captures this data of yourself, right? So we live in a time where this great art of acting and telling stories, for these like owners or these studio executives to pretend like you're just showing up and giving your face for a TV show or a camera is just so completely ridiculous and unfair. So it's so funny that the quote I didn't think about it at that moment when I saw the quote, but that's at stake right now, right? So I thought it's kind of fitting, and we were just talking about that this morning. Cheers.
All right. Yeah, I'm still. This is deep. And I'm going to have to pass this over. And I know our listeners are looking at that, and it's making you think. And This supports the conversation I've had with Naheem, Christopher, Otis, Lanez, and many other people have been on here. Education is not designed to make you comfortable. It's designed to make you think. And this is one of those things on so many different levels and so many different emotions that are attached to this. It could be almost anything, but consciousness sleeps in materials. Dreams is a plant that wakes up in animals and becomes self-aware in humans. Lanez, Kinsey, how does this quote land on you?
Well, I feel like we're all a part of this grand cosmic journey, right? And it's like we're in a big play, and everyone has a role to play. At the very bottom, you have the rocks and the minerals, right? They're just chilling. Don't have a care in the world. They're not aware. They're sleeping, basically. And then we come to plants, right? Plants are the dreamers of the bunch. They react to the world. They grow towards the sun, but they're not woke yet, right? They're in their own little worlds of photosynthesis and growth. Then we have the animals. They're more tuned in. They're living life. They're reacting to danger, hunting for food, dancing to the symphony of nature. They're the party animals of the universe, so to speak, right? Then we come to humans, right? And to me, humans are the stars of the show, right? Because we think, we dream, we question, we create, we're self-aware. We're not just aware of the world, we're aware of ourselves in the world. And it takes us from sleeping in the mineral kingdom to dreaming with the plants and waking up with the animals. And now we sit here in front of the mirror and we're thinking about life in the universe and everything that's in it. So to me, this quote is saying that consciousness is a journey, and us humans, we're in the front row of this cosmic theater, and I think it's amazing.
And I am going to agree with you. I'm sure everyone else is going to agree with you. Naheem Garcia, this is, guy, you got a great voice, by the way. How does this land on you? And before we go on, Otis, can you repeat the quote one more time?
Consciousness sleeps in minerals, dreams in plants, and awakes in animals, and becomes self-aware in humans.
That's life, the growth of life. Consciousness is that subconscious, that place where your thoughts are perking and developing. Like the plant, it grows, it feeds vegetation. That's what it represents, food. Consciousness is knowledge. So you have your knowledge and your wisdom. The understanding is what you draw up. That's the same thing as we becoming an animal. My animal is the wolf. I always make reference to the wolf because the wolf is a hunter, but the wolf is also wise and it's family orientated. So it represents life. It's about being in life and being a unit in life and accepting that we all have to connect one way or the other, good and bad. Can't live without each other. So, yeah, we move through the land as humans because that's the vehicle we in. So this is a nice one, but it's really simple. It's life. Moving through nature and through itself, all the energy you can't destroy it, just builds, just keeps going on. So yeah, that's a good one. Thank you. That's a good one. It's not as complex as it sounds. It's really simple, because that silent thought becomes the vegetation that grows. That animal becomes that human being that walks the planet because we're all animals.
Right. So, right. We're all animals, living and breathing and doing great things.
Some a little more intelligent than the others, that's all.
Well, that's why we have you on the show. Christopher, and I'm going to go with you first because I know when I told Gilda, and originally I was going to say the same thing that you're about to say, but I'm going to let Christopher go ahead.
When I first saw that quote, I'm thinking, oh my God, here comes another dissertation from the doctoral thesis. Oh boy. But then I like what Naheem said. It can be broken down in very simple shapes and forms. And that's hit it, where she brought it all through from the rocks and stones right up to man. The connection, I think, is consciousness. And that is, I don't know, super cool when you think about how complex it starts off and yet how simple it becomes when you take a look at it from real eyes. It's it blew me when I first saw it. I said, oh my God, I can't even start with this thing. But Inez and he made it all simple. And I got it. It's a great quote, Manuel, but you started off way up there, man. It was you kept it right up there. I said, oh boy, this is gonna be a doctoral thesis. I just know it. But, it is really basic, really simple, and it is life.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I like about having these conversations on quotes is because sometimes we open the door, we look out the window, and we can have 5 people standing at the door and looking out the window, and we get 5 interpretations of what we're all looking at the same thing. And so depending on where you are at that moment is based on what you see or what the reality is at that moment. Sometimes we look at a sunset as being something that we gravitate to. And sometimes we look at a sunset and says, God, I'm hiding from tomorrow. So, yeah, it's deep. Gilda, all right. All right.
See, okay. Everything has their awareness, even if it's still dull. And contract, what I'm trying to say, and contracted in many instances. So I'm just saying that everything's connected.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Everything's connected.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. All right, Otis, time with the quote, and then I'd like to hear what your interpretation or perspective is on this quote.
Consciousness sleeps in minerals, dreams in plants, and it wakes up in animals and becomes self-aware in humans. And I guess it just goes back to general in nature. From the earth we came and back to the earth we go. We need those minerals to survive. The plants needs those minerals to survive, to grow. Animals need the minerals and the plants. We as humans, we need all 3.
We eat off all of it.
Correct. Without the minerals, you can't stay healthy. Without the plants, you don't have food. Without the animals, you don't have food. And yet we are aware and conscious of what we're doing and what we need to survive.
Yes, and I think this quote is a metaphor for like what everyone has agreed to say. It is for life. And the nice thing about it, out of all the mammals that exist on the world, we are the only ones can articulate exactly how we feel, how we think, and how we react. Someone asked about protein one day, and they talked about how valuable, and I know the cow people are going to hate me for saying this, and that it's a great source of protein. And when I asked the question, where does the cow get his protein? And you got to talk about, from where we come from and where we're going to return, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. This is where we are. As far as being self-aware of humans, is that we have to understand our responsibilities to humanity, which ties back into our consciousness. We fail to realize and take credit for our own actions, and we keep blaming the decisions that we make on decisions that were made for us or decisions that we failed to take responsibility for, that we are the authors of. And when we talk about the consciousness, is when I look at this, it's just like, how much energy does it take for you just to be nice and love someone else, accept someone else for who they are, escape from a label, and understand a conversation will explain everything. And if you're open to receiving, then the person giving should be open to understanding that you are just human. You're just that. We are just humans. We're not perfect human beings. We are human, capable of doing great things and capable of making mistakes. And the whole consciousness part that sleeps within material is before your expiration date is called. You need to make sure that in your mind that you leave this world with a clean slate, knowing that you have not harmed, hurt, or have not apologized for someone before you exit this world. All right. Instead of your glass being half full, make sure you live every single day of your life pouring in someone else's glass instead of taking away. So that's kind of the way that I took that. Naheem.
No, and I was also just looking at the fact that the consciousness represents a seed, which comes from the mineral, just like the plant represents growth and vegetation to eat from, just like what the animal eats from. But it's also talking about the food chain. I was just looking at it, just 1, 2, 3. It's the food chain.
Yep.
And even though it's putting humans at the top of the chain because we control the world, but we see what we've done, made a mess of. So sometimes you got to think about who really is who's really in charge, who really knows what's going on.
Well, and I'm glad you said it the way that you said it. Is because we are the only destroyers of the human race. If you look at every insect, every bug, and whatever, there's a circle of life, but they always are providing life.
But we're the only ones that eat off of everybody else. We feed our children feed from another animal. A cow's milk, not the mother's milk, but the cow's milk. Think about it. We feed off of everything. We feed off of everything, the animal, the plant, even the consciousness. We draw it up and we suck it up and we strain it up and we destroy it. Look at the world today. Look at how we're rolling with it. We're at the top of the chain. We're also the bottom of the chain because we're at the bottom of the chain. We're sucking up and eating anything. We eating off each other, eating off ourselves. We're not even, I had to sit here and think about it for a minute as I was looking at it and said, yeah, that seed grows and that plant grows and that animal eats and that human eats all of it. Mm-hmm. We eat it all. Sometimes it's not even positive. Sometimes we're our own worst enemy. Look at the world today.
That's the great irony of the quote, right?
Is the great irony of the quote. That is the great irony of the quote.
And
it's not a positive or a negative. It's right there in the middle, but it's clear.
And that is where the consciousness comes into, is the truth of this quote, is that we are the problem.
We can be the problem and the solution.
Oh, right. I was saying it's right in the middle. It's a coin.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a responsibility there to being the top chef.
And so, with that said, I'm actually hoping that one day someone, especially the people in Hollywood, especially our corporate leaders, especially our people that are in the power positions, so to say power positions, because I think the people still have the power. Look at the fact is that, you have to understand your actions of trying to control things that should not be controlled. A person's right to make a living, a person's right to have their image, a person's right to live where he or she wants to be, a person's right to be whoever he or she wants to be. All right. We need to live a much simpler life instead of, trying to ring up as much as we can, because, we can't take it. Brinks is never delivered into the second life. Your fortune in this life. It's not going to happen. The Aztecs used to bury their leaders with all their jewels, and they got robbed at night when everyone left. We can't come in this world naked. We leave this world naked. But the thing is that being a good human being becomes having a great story. So this was a great thing. And every animal, even though what it consumes, it actually through its waste provides life, a second life for whatever that it consumes. We're the only human beings that randomly take a life and not give anything back, and that's got to change. So, getting deep. This was a great quote, man. Thank you. I love you guys. You guys have so much to offer, so much to give. I hope this strike comes about and lets all you wonderful, talented people share your talent with the world. Because I'm a big fan of not only the human beings that I know, that I call friends, that I call family. When I say love, I don't throw that out there just for February 14th. I say it every single day. It's much love for our welcome guests that have just joined the show. There's much love for you guys. And, I can't wait to see what next week is going to bring next week. So with that said, for those people that have just tuned in, we're about to wrap up and we're going to get an update on what everyone is doing in life. Otis, one more time.
Consciousness sleeps in minerals, dreams in plants, and awakes up in animals and becomes self-aware in humans.
To our listeners, I want you to think about this quote. Reach out to us, give us your feedback. We'd love to hear it. And with that said, Lanez, you guys had a great weekend. Both you and Manny spoke to one of our leaders in the Black Lives Matter. You want to give us an update? What happened with that this week?
I believe the meeting went well. She actually has a organization that I feel like is aligned with what we are trying to do with the community, bridging the gap between law enforcement and the community. And I believe the call made it crystal clear that we can help her do that. And we invited her into our big presentation in November. Basically, our goal is to get the information to people so they can see it, right?
What's this event in November? Be a little bit more specific.
November 5th, we're having a community event where we're unlocking intelligence amplification for New York City. So that's what the event is. I will share it with the audience. So maybe you can share it out on this podcast also, because we would love for people to register. It's a free event.
Tell us how to register.
You can go on Eventbrite. It's the fourth culture time perception shift. Right, Manuel? That's the name that they need to look up? Just want to verify.
Yeah, I can send you the link.
Okay. Well, they can go on there. They can reach me at Comfort in the Chaos Coaching on Instagram. They can DM me with any questions. Me personally, I also have a workshop this Saturday at Open Jar Studio in New York City. It's an intro to artificial intelligence. I guess that's all I'm doing.
All right. All right. Christopher, Gilda, what's up? I know you guys are still fighting the battle with the union and getting everyone back to work. What's going on with you guys?
Well, tomorrow we're supposed to go to Portland, Maine, and I guess they're going to have a photo op that day. So we're looking forward to doing that. And I guess it starts at 10 o'clock.
Okay. All right.
Otis.
All right. I should also be going up to Maine for the photo op for SAG-AFTRA, as well as coming up, we'll be training to be an election poll worker, and I'll be taking the two twins and we'll be working at Spooky World.
All right. Congratulations. Spooky World. All right. Naheem Garcia, my brother, I love you from another mother. What's going on with you? How's the play going?
The play's over with. Starting other different work. Raising the Sun was great. It was nice to present in front of a sold out house every night. That was a nice experience. Just working on not being a catfish, and I am working on a reading for a script that a film script that's being worked on. A few of these people have been invited to be on there. It's going to be live. It's the first time we're going to do it in a long time. And I have this idea of doing table read meets radio drama. So there's a lot of work that needs to go on and how that's going to look and how that's going to work out. So that's what I'm doing, brother. Just staying above the water and trying not to be a catfish.
All right, all right. I'm glad to see everyone is doing well, even though there are things, powers to be, that are out of your control. And sooner or later, I think you guys are going to get together and we're going to create our own Hollywood. We're going to finance our own films and TV shows through our community. I think that's the direction. So we no longer have to be in this situation. That's my prayer for everyone that's in the creative space. It's return the business back to the people, and let the people let the people be a part of you, not only your creative success, but also your financial success by supporting your dreams. And so with me, simple, just release. I'm about to release publicly my new book, The World Is Not Ready for You. Is a tribute to my baby sister that passed away. And the book turned out to be a lot more than I ever thought it was going to be. Without saying, I want to thank my family and friends, that supported it from day one, as soon as it popped up on Amazon. Day one, 50 books were sold. And basically what I'm asking everyone to do is that if you buy the book,
Babe.
and you like the book, contact 10 of your friends after you have read it within that first hour and ask them to buy the book. And if they feel the same way that you do within that hour after completing the book, ask them to contact 10 of their friends and ask each one of their friends to repeat that for 1 month. I can almost promise you that this book will land on the desk of someone that's in need of the conversation that needs to be had in that book, or someone that will go ahead and bring this book to life for the rest of the world. So that's what my ask is. I always ask that on my show. That's what I'm asking my family, friends, those people that support RMK Productions and the 10 United podcast, support my podcast, Talking with Kevin and Son, and this podcast, Motivational Sundays. I always talk about we have a higher call to action. It's the reason why I don't look for big numbers. I look for people that want to help other people. And so with that said, I want to thank my listeners, my family, my friends. I want to thank my co-hosts, Larnez, Manuel, Naheem, Christopher, Gilda, and the voice, Otis, for always joining me and being here. We don't get paid for this, so I appreciate you in more ways than I can say. And I'm hoping one day we will pick up a sponsor so we all can get paid for, the time we're sitting up here. So I'm putting it out there. So we need it. We meet every Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you like what you've heard, go to RMK Productions and Network on our YouTube page, follow and subscribe. Remember, I only want the people following to have a high call to action. If you're just a fan, keep coming back and viewing it. We love those views. You're important to us. The conversation was deep today. The quote was deep today. And I'm going to repeat, my hashtag, find 1,000 reasons to be kind to someone. My grandfather always said, when you get to a place in life and you can help someone, it is your duty to do so. Reach one and teach one. But I'm going to add one more thing to this. Don't ever allow someone to ride on your dream when they're dragging their feet on theirs. So with that said, we'll fade to black and we're out. Thank you, everyone.
Well, that was a nice quote.
Well, I've said that quote before.
But see, that was a nice quote. Why is it a nice quote? Let's talk, because he want to publicly shame me about not calling him and jumping all over him. So let's get into it. Okay, now you want to
You
shut the
still want to
recording
record,
off,
or do you want to end recording?
No, I'm going to record this.
Okay.
I'm going to record
You
this.
want to shut the recording off because this is personal now. I said no, but what made it nice? I'm dead serious. What made it nice?
It was short.
But what made it nice? Not because it was short. It's not the size or the length. It's the weight of it. You know, the
All right.
complexity of it, the fact that it was so simple that it made you think. That's why I had to look at this quote today and say, as complex as it is very simple. He's talking about the cycle of life. You know, that's all. You know, and as I looked at it, and it took Otis to say what he said, I said, that's right. It's a cycle of life. You know, and sometimes we get caught up on so much of the wording and heaviness. No, sometimes the simplest thing is like, you said that simple quote, and I said, whoa, wait a minute, that's right. That has layers. That's what's magnificent about it. The shorter with the many layers. Because as an actor, I'm taking a peanut and I'm stripping it. I'm stripping. Same thing I do with a character. I strip it down to the very last core. What does it? How simple can I make it? Where can I get to the core of it all? You know, so that's how I look at it. When I look at these quotes, it's the same thing because I have an attention deficit. I'm a visual learner. Once I start reading, after a while, it starts going whoop, and then I'm lost. My mind went somewhere else. But when it's short and it hits me, like that last little quote you hit, that was beautiful, man. And I know you say that all the time, but it was just a very nice. And what made it deep is that it says a lot without saying a lot.
Oh, thank you.
That's what.
And that's what.
So when I say it's too long, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, no. I got lost.
You know I love you, and it's fine. And believe it or not, I'm a writer. So with a writer, we like words, and sometimes we like hearing ourselves talk. That's the reason why I like public speaking, because I like talking. So I want people to pay me to talk. But when I say things like that, is because I wanted to hit home. Because people all wake up and they just wake up with no sense of purpose. It's just like when you talk about motivational quotes. I always say motivation is the time that God wakes you up. That's motivation. When your foot hits the floor and your right foot goes in front of the left, that's inspiration. Now, where you go from there has to define your purpose in life. Okay, sometimes we run to the bathroom and we discard what's on the inside of us, and we don't see the value of what just happened. All we see is we just pass something along. And that's the way a lot of us go through life. But then there's people like all of you. The reason why life exists, the reason why we have entertainment, the reason why we have conversations like this is because you guys bring something to the table that's better than dessert. All right? It's sweet and savory all at the same time. And that's the reason why I like talking to people like you guys, is because you guys are all 5-star chefs and I'm a world traveler, and I can't wait to get to your restaurant. Can't wait to get there. And I will pay top dollar for the first course, second course, even if it's 5-course meal. I don't have a problem paying for it because I want to bring it all in. That's my nutrition for the day. When you feed my brain, my belly is full.
There's the quote. See what I'm saying? How many times I gotta keep saying it? You trying to find the last word? Take the word. The word's here. Word is the word. Listen, I'm messing with y'all. Good job. Love y'all. Y'all take care of yourselves.
All right, I'm gonna cut this off.